Hello, 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 and welcome to another thrilling episode of PROG Review. Oh yeah, coming thick and fast. Thick. Not that fast, just thick. Maybe, yeah, that'll do. And today, we're looking at England and Garden Shed. Yeah, finally got around to doing England. Who could have believed it? This is a 2005 edition. There are many reissues of this. It gets complicated. I think there was a golden edition out a couple of years back, which was this is the 2005. It's done like a 7-inch booklet. It's actually a CD, but it gives you, well, we'll do that in a minute. We'll talk about the band first. A peculiar lot this is, and I've avoided them. I've avoided them for many years. I've been aware of them, but have avoided them. I can't remember when I heard of them, but I heard of them and I heard the record. But in order to do this, I thought I'd pick up the CD and get to know it, the CD and the booklet, so it allows me to, well, give my amazing insight into these records. Amazing. Released in 1977. England represents something really odd in the world of progressive rock, for they are the last gasp of prog from the 70s. Again, 1977 is when prog died. Everyone knows that. We can chart its birth to its death from 1967, Sgt. Pepper's, to 1977, and well, at this time I imagine that ELP were recording the album that shall not be named, and thus ending prog rock as we knew it, or progressive rock even. And yeah, England are odd because they straddle this no man's land between 1977 and 1982 when neo-prog raised its head. And if they'd have been around then, maybe they'd have done a bit better. Or maybe if they'd have been about 5 years earlier, they might have done a bit better. But they fell at this very fallow period of music, The well was dry. The well was dry. They are a 4-piece band. Martin Ensign on bass and vocals, Frank Holland on guitar and vocals, Robert Webb keyboards and vocals, and Jode Lee on percussion and vocals. There's a lot of vocals, I don't know if you notice that. And they do a lot of these multi-part kind of shared vocal things, which kind of gives it a little bit of a Gentle Giant feel in some of the places. Not as irritating as Gentle Giant. But England, God bless their Union-jacked cotton socks, for I imagine that they wear Union Jack cotton socks and Y-fronts. Definitely Y-fronts. Not boxers, Y-fronts, because it's the 1970s and they didn't know any better. Their inspiration is purely that of these guys. These guys here. Maybe a little bit, yes. Some of the vocal phrasing, because the singers, they've kind of a, not falsetto, but a kind of a higher register when it comes to their vocalizing. Yeah, it's an interesting record. Is it any good? Well, those of you who really love progressive music will love this. Those of you who go, I don't mind if this is derivative, if this sounds exactly like the bands that they're inspired by. I do not mind, for I love prog music. You people, you're going to love this. You're going to be eating it up. But some of us are a little bit more discerning, who know what it's all about, can go, oh my goodness, how in 1977 did they, one, get signed to Arista or Arista? Is it Arista or Arista? Arista or Arista? I know you're thinking I'm Arista, but I might be an Arista. You never know, do you? Dumpty dumpty die-do. What to say? It is very Genesis-y, and in some, it's a shame because in some parts there is flashes of imagination. On the, again, you get extra tracks, and a lot of the reissues here you get extra material and or second discs of other stuff. But there are actually 6 tracks on the album, on the proper album, without the bonus tracks. Does that make sense? There are 6 tracks. And the final track, Poisoned Youth, which is apparently based on the picture of Dorian Gray. There are some moments in that, in terms of where's like a percussive moment. There's some instrumental bits in it that you go, oh, that would have been good if it had been developed further. You know, they were breaking away from being sound-alikes, and that is my problem with this, is because they don't have a distinctive sound of their own, and the lyrical content is, you know, they tell these tall tales that are very reminiscent of, you know, Genesis circa 1972. You know, you do have to kind of, you know, turn your critical mind off to get any further with it. You know, that's not to say it isn't enjoyable. Some bits of it are fine, it's enjoyable, but there's always that thing in the back of your mind screaming, they're just ripping off Genesis, they're just ripping off Genesis, ripping off Genesis, ripping off Genesis. You know, like when you listen to Big Train, you know. Thankfully, I'll never review them. I can't, not now. Don't need the hate. So yeah, I think again it could be good for you to check out. You know, purely on, especially if you think about like the historical context of when it fell. I mean, this is, you know, 1977 is the year of the, you know, of the punk and God Save the Queen, and here they come, Little England with the Robertson's marmalade, you know, kind of aesthetic, come tootling in with their Mellotrons Mark II, and songs about, well, all sorts of things. Songs as well, again, they refer to Peter Pan on Rooftops Dancing. Again, bits of it sound a bit Hackett-like, you know, Hackett's solo career. Some of it sounds a bit Anthony Phillipsy, you know, sides wise after the event, you know. So these guys, they wear their inspiration very clearly on their sleeves. So you got to admire them for that. But they fell through the cracks, because I guess this didn't go anywhere because it came at the wrong time. You know, but you know, if you want some sort of obscure 1977, you know, prog act, you could. There are bits of it, they sound like a proto-Marillion. You know, there's flashes of Marillion in there as well. You know, this is what I said about, if they'd have hung around long enough for the neo-prog thing, they could have actually, you know, maybe got a few more listens. So yeah, like I said, this was the 2007 edition, which is made to look like a 7-inch single. It's not. There's a CD inside. And again, I like the aesthetic of it. I think they did another album called Last of the Jubblies, which many of you will not know what that is a reference to. For a jubbly was an ice lolly. Well, like an ice, yeah, frozen block of ice that we used to eat in the 1970s. Though now we can often say jubblies as a euphemism for ladies' chesticles. Nice set of jubblies there. You're going to get me into trouble. But there you go. So they're very British in their outlook. And I like that. I like that because we all know that this Fair Isle invented prog rock. There is only one authentic prog rock. That's British prog rock. None of that foreign stuff. It's all a facsimile. It's all a fakey fake, isn't it? So yeah, you get some nice artwork. I'm not sure if this was in the actual LP edition. I don't think so, because I think this was added later on. So you can see it's very, you know, you can see the kind of style that they're going for. Like I said, there's a little ballad, All Alone, which is done on the keyboards. And 3-piece Suite is that's the centerpiece of the record, and it's very, you know, again, they're very keyboard orientated. And I think for me the problem is not enough guitars. If the vocalist, so I think up there, isn't that Ian Anderson on Heavy Horses? For me, I don't think the vocalist and the guitarist are strong enough. You know, they're all right, but you know, let's just talk about my opinion. You know, my opinion counts for nothing these days. So, you know, there you go. You get to experience the record without trying to find a copy on eBay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's black grape. It's great when you're straight. What's that doing there? That wasn't 1977. I've got a funny feeling that these graphics were done later. I think they got Kim Porter to do that one. Joke. Or as they say, JK. And then you move your little flap. Oh, look, there's a CD there. Who'd have thunk it? So yeah, go and track them down. I'm sure all you dyed-in-the-wall prog heads will get a lot from it, But those of us with a critical faculty, you'll finger your beard and go, yeah, they sound too much like Genesis for me. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable rock. I've always had a little soft spot for them, even though I shouldn't. They're like that thing, guilty pleasure. They're kind of like a guilty pleasure. That reminds me. I tell you what they do remind me of. The music that Gonad Shitcan did with his fake Genesis band at the turn of the millennia, which everyone used to laud. It earned him a place with, touring with Hackett, didn't it? So it must have been the right thing. But if you listen to this, at least this was done in 1977. What he was doing was done in the turn of the millennia. It was awful. But there you go. So Genesis Infused. I nearly forgot about that. But yeah. So yeah, my name's been Darren. Look, I've been talking about England. Good old England. Garden Shed. Nothing more English than England and the Garden Shed, you see. See what they're doing there? Originally out on Arista Records. I think Annie Nightingale might have given them a review. Paraphernalia was a single. Again, not very catchy, but a lot of words. A lot of words in it. A lot of words. But yeah. It's a bit, like I said, a bit of an old curiosity for you to have a look at. If those of you probably already know it already. There's nothing new, is there? We've done it all. I should just quit. Remember, I'm yesterday's news. I was never today's news. I've only ever been in the news when that car at the shop. Oh, don't remember that. But anyway, thank you for watching. My name is Darren Lock. I'm going to talk about England and their Garden Shed. There you go. There's only one thing left to say by now. You know what that is, and that is PROG on, and God save the Queen.